Welcome to week 3. I hope everyone's doing okay at home and things are going well. Don't forget, always make sure you're asking me questions if you need help with anything, and I will be here to help. So I hope you enjoyed your long weekend and you took that long weekend and you set aside schoolwork and you did things that were enjoyable and that you had a good Easter. If you've got any fun stories or things that you want to share with me, please do that too. I would love to hear from you. So I'm going to go over the checklist for week 3 this week. Again, the expectation is that Monday was off. This is posted on Monday, but you are not expected to do any assignments on Monday. It is a day off. I thought some of you might be bored and itching to do something, and so I have it available. But and you can notice I actually only have 3 things for you to do this week. So even though it's a 4-day week, I thought with the amount of work that I was giving you that I would shorten it down to only 3 assignments for the week. And in part because the first day has a few things within it. So if you look at the first day, lesson 11.1, we are going to start talking about the Cold War in more detail. So we're going to be looking at ways in which the Cold War becomes a hot war and how there's more conflict as a result of the Cold War. And one of the key places where that happens is the Korean War. So we are going to go through and learn about why the Korean War happened, what happened during this conflict, who was involved, and in particular, why the United States was involved. So for the first lesson, you are going to watch the Introduction to the Korean War lecture notes and complete the notes outline. And then as a second part to that assignment, there are 2 readings for you to do. So if I show you here in Schoology, when these are all published, you're going to have 2 readings. You have this Korean War textbook reading. And you don't have to read the whole thing. This is really long. This is like a full chapter. What you need to read is starting here where it says the start of the Korean War, and you're going to read through until key battles of the Korean War. So you're just reading these 2 pages. Here to here. And you are also going to read a second document, which is the President Truman document. And this is a speech that President Truman gave in 1950, which is explaining his reasons for why the United States is joining in the Korean War. So both of these 2, the textbook reading, which is our secondary source, and the President Truman document, which is our primary source, they are going to tell us why the United States decided to send troops into fighting in the Korean War. And so you're going to create a list of reasons from those 2 readings why the U.S. entered the war. You can see next week's deadline. So for all 3 of these, the next deadline is going to be next week on Monday. So you have a week to complete them. And again, I have a shortened version of assignments this week. So I expect that shouldn't be a problem for you to get assignments turned in by next Monday. For the second assignment this week, lesson 11.2, there is a video for you to watch. This is from a website called Khan Academy. Some of you might be using that website for other courses as well. And it is a teacher discussing some of the events of the Korean War, what happened throughout the course of the war. And you just have a series of questions to answer from the video. And then lastly, lesson 11.3, based on learning about the war, I want you to think about the implications for that war today. So the Korean War meant that North and South Korea remained divided. The 2 countries were never united. And North Korea is still a communist country even today in 2020. And so this article is going to talk about the relationship between the United States and North Korea in modern times, and in particular the Trump presidency with the leader of North Korea. And there are several questions that you will answer to go along with the article about modern day North Korea. I have some additional resources down here, just if you need a little bit more explanation as far as what happened in the Korean War or what were the key events. You should look at both the reading and the video. And then I found this really interesting article because, lots of countries are dealing with the effects of coronavirus all throughout the entire world, and North Korea is one who's dealing with it as well. And this is article is talking about is the coronavirus an opportunity for us to restart talks and renegotiate with North Korea? And this will be related to this article that you guys read about North Korea today. And then lastly, if you're interested at all in the stories of veterans who have participated in the Korean War, there are some really fascinating stories about people who were there. And so if you look at this veterans stories, you can go through all these different people who have shared their stories and they've documented, and there's 14 pages worth of them. But if you're sitting at home and you're like, you know what, I'm bored and I need some more things to do, this would be a good, where'd my checklist go? That would be a good thing to look at, is to look at some of those stories. Again, let me know if you have questions. Email me, call me, send me a message on Schoology, and I will help if needed. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a good week, and continue to follow along and answer the checklist questions, or go through the checklist and then answer the check-in questions at the beginning of the week. Hope everyone's doing well. Talk to you later.